Greetings, everybody. Jeffrey Guterman with the Strat-O-Matic Network, and I am going to be making some coffee and doing an update as I completed all games through September 18 in the 1969 replay, and I thought I would share with you, if you're interested, the process I go through in updating my standings, the games behind, the leaders. I will say up front, and I've said this many times before, that I don't have the time to do statistics beyond the standings, which is the bread and butter. And then as a novelty, wins for pitchers and home runs for batters. And it doesn't take long at all. But at the conclusion, I update, every 2 games I update the standings and cross-reference it to make sure it's right. But I also check and I adjust games behind, of course, as we move along. This will be brewing, this will take a few minutes.
Yesterday's real estate back office.
What we do here is we open up our SOM file. I got it right down here. Right down here. And then within that, I have my 1911 replay, my 1964 replay. I even have my 1972 football replay. Here's my 1969 replay. So I just given this an open here. And this is through, it looks like what I have to do, I do have to input these last 2 games and then reconcile everything. So I have these games here, 1795 and 1796. So we will put these in and then reconcile everything. The first game, San Francisco. This is, by the way, you change this up here to 1796. The wins and losses must equal that for all of baseball, and of course the National League and each of the leagues must reconcile. That's 1796 now. This is San Francisco over Houston. So San Francisco won And that'll make them 85 and 65. And 5 on 1/2 behind. And then Houston lost 77 and 71. You just got to be very careful with it. But we have redundancies because I write it down on the score sheet, their record prior, you see. Houston 77 and 70. So we have that in there. And San Francisco 85 and 65. Then we had, we'll put Bryant, he got his 5th win. Then we'll go to the other side. And it was Blas who won his 13th. Might as well put it in while we're here. And this was Pittsburgh over St. Louis in a critical game this morning. That'd be Pittsburgh now 87 and 62. And St. Louis losing. Big loss for St. Louis, 83 and 66. Puts them 4 behind now. And that's a big difference now that they only have 13 games left. And then when you have the first place team changing in any given game, you want to change the rest of the division games behind. That'll be 11. Of course, we're going to double check this because it's the end of the date. This will be 12. $25. And 26. Now what we do, we pull out our calculator. No need to be you trying to guess. And we're going to add everything in the win column in the NL. And that should be 898 because there's 2 games. And the same here. By the way, San Diego lost their 100th game on this date. So let's add it up. We go Pittsburgh, St. Louis, that's 160, 170. 124, 176. And if it doesn't work out exactly, no need to panic. We'll figure it out. 140, 152, 124. That should be 898, and it is. Put that right in there. Now do the losses. Math is a tautology. Mathematics is a tautology. Irrefutable. What people forget is, you could say 1 + 1 is absolutely 2, but don't forget we created the measurement in the first place. Okay, let's do the losses. 128. Just take your time with it. Let's see, 128. 148. 160, 176. 125. 144. And 177, look at that. Wow. That should be 898, and it is. Now, we did this last time, but because it's the last date, even though there were no games in here, we're going to check it again. This is an 898 also. We're going to check it again just to be sure. Just to be sure. This is the time to do it after every date. That's 191. Baltimore, Detroit, 86. 1 91, 158, 125, 186, 129, and 109. And it is 898. It was last time, it still is. There were no AL games the last two games as I'm updating this. Now we'll do losses. 110, 142, 176, 112, 169, 180, 189, 898 it is. So put that in there. It's the same as it was. That's going to be 898, 160, 17. Shit. Well, it's 89. My head is not what it used to be. 898 times 2 is 1796 on both sides. And that's what it is. So we have reconciled that. Now we're going to get some coffee and we're going to do the games behind here. We'll put this back with our sheets. And now we'll just reconcile the games behind. And I do this on the fly. I do it, it's rather easy. It's actually a little bit of fun to do, to double check it. Okay, and sometimes they're off. Now that's nothing to worry about because we've been reconciling wins and losses all along the ways. But if the games behind are off, that's because I haven't checked it. I've changed it manually per game, but I have not double checked it since the 17th, the completion of September 17th. So what I say is it's worth doing a check on it. So we have 4, that's Flatfoot, that's the same games. Chicago, St. Louis 4 out, Chicago 10, and then you have 12, that's 11. 75, 85, that's 12, and that's going to be 12. You see how easy that is. Montreal, 24, then this should be 26, that's correct. And this is 26 and 26. So the East is good. In the West of the NL, that's 6 and 5 is 5.5, 77. 14 plus 11 is 25, correct? 75, 85. 16 plus 13 is 29, correct? Just divide by 2. LA, 18. Wait a minute now, this could be wrong. 73, 83, 93. This one looks wrong. LA, 91 minus 73 is 18, and 60 plus 17, and you see, again, it has nothing to do, that's 35 divided by 2, we're a half game off somehow. It's a 17.5. Again, the wins and losses have been accurate. It's just sometimes I'll miss a game behind or something, adjustment as we go along. Then San Diego 40 and 40. Wait a minute. Oh, Lord, there's another one that missed. And again, these are nothing to worry about. This is 51.91, that's 40. Plus 60, 40. It's going to be 40 out. Then we'll go to the AL. This is 19 and 18. 18 and a half, 82, 92, 02, 23, and 21 is 22. Then Washington, 86, 96, 06, 29, and that is 29. 70, 35, and 34, 34 and a half. Cleveland, 55, that's 50 across the board. Then in the West, Oakland, 82, 92, 02, 22 is correct. 89, 99. Yeah, the Mets, well, you know, that's a whole nother story, Alex, because I'll go back, since you brought it up, this is an alternate history. It's a replay, and it's an alternate history. So it does help to forget about, suspend our imaginations and forget, or use our imaginations, forget that they won it all, forget that they were the amazing Mets, and remember that this was only the 8th year in franchise history, and they are one game over 500. This is the best team they ever had. So that's the way I like to think about it. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. California, I think I did them 69, 789, 99, 35. Correct. 60, that's 44. This one looks off. It's Chicago, 60, 70, 80, 90, 144. Plus 45, 55, 75, 85, 44. Oh, it is correct. Seattle, 97. That's correct. And Kansas City, 52 is correct. So this is all correct. Then we just want to take a quick peek here, make sure that these are in order. That's all correct. And then what we do, I'm going to open that up again. It saves automatically. We're going to email a copy to myself. First thing I'm going to do here, well, I'm going to just post this video. I usually cut and paste these and post them on the community board. Instead, I'm just going to post the whole video on my community board right here. Just like that, insert it, and then just type in updated. Whoops. Updated standings, and individual leaders for wins and home runs. Through 9/18/69 in my Strat-O-Matic 1969 replay. And then people can watch the video if they want to get the standings and the leaders. What I'm gonna do is, let me post this. There it is. And it's live. What I'm gonna do is, and let me just email a copy of this to myself. I don't want to really show you my email thing, but there's my bill. My electric bill, $55.48. I guess I should consider myself lucky. It went up a little. Lord. And that's going to be due, here it is, $55.48, just adjusted. I use it in my budget. It's going to go up in the summer, you can be sure of that. It's due May 7th. Now let's send this, compose this to myself. I find Gmail to be a very good SOM through 9/18/69. Attach it. Then we can put the old prior one, archive that one. Then we can open this up, and if you're really insane, you can download it just to make sure. And I am pretty much insane. Now I think would be a time for us to just relax. I'll drink my coffee and let's review the standings and the leaders here. You always get a kick out of these people during hearings who are like sitting behind there, you know, and you get to look at them all day. So through September 18, the Pirates beat the Cardinals again. They swept them in the 2-game series, and now that's a big difference. These clubs only have 13 games left, and the Cards are 4 behind. Everybody else is pretty much out of it. Big story here, Montreal is a game ahead of Philadelphia. Philadelphia's been sneaking up on them. Atlanta looks like they're wrapping it up. They have a 5.5 game lead over the Giants. No, they do not, stacking. No, I'm not positive, but since you asked the question, you're nice enough to ask. We scroll down here on our baseball reference here, and we can go down to the September 18th. And this was the last game we just had. This was it. This was it. So we can look and we can just go down. There's not many games left, so let's take a look. Let's see who Pittsburgh plays. They're going to play the Mets for a 2-3 game series in New York, 4-game series in New York. Then they will play 5-game series. Jesus. Whoa, that's weird. Let's take a look at that again. That's weird. Starting on the 19th, Pirates, they're probably making up a rainout. First, they have a doubleheader at New York on the 19th. Then they play them on the 20th. That's 3 games. Then they play the 21st. Another doubleheader. Ay, ay, ay. That's probably definitely some rainouts. But anyway, going back to this, that's a 5-game series. Maybe the Mets can be spoilers. And the Pirates have to lose almost everything to screw this up. Then they host the Phillies, the worst team or one of the worst teams, for 1, 2, 3 game series, and then they host the Cubs. This might be the end. 1, 2, 3. No, they have one more series. They host the Expos. 1, 2, as you can see, that's it. That's the final game. Now, if we want, since we did that, let's just go check out St. Louis. Whoops. Now here's St. Louis on the 19th, and they're going to have a doubleheader against the Cubs. That's a rivalry. So on the 19th, they play the Cubs for a doubleheader. This was again rescheduled due to rain. Then they play the Cubs again. And a 3rd game. And a 4th game. It really would have been a 3-game series. Then they play the Mets in New York for 1, 2, 3. Then they play the Expos in Montreal. 2, 3. And then they close out the season against the Phillies on the 30th, the 1st, and the 2nd. So that's that. And so that shows you how that wraps up. In the West, you know, it's basically over. You can see the Giants are 5.5 out. I don't think they play the Braves again. I'll check. Since we're here, let's take a peek. You can forget about the American League. They're clinched. Okay, on the 19th, you're going to have the Braves at San Diego. I guess I could just do it this way. It's easier. Braves, this is the 19th, our next date. Braves at San Diego, so that should be easy. And the, oh, you think so, Stack? They have a great chance. I mean, they're probably the best team in baseball. No, I think they are the best team in baseball. You got the Braves at the Padres, and then where are the Giants? Giants, don't tell me they're off. Oh, no, they play the Dodgers. And the Giants are at the Padres. Braves at the Astros. They're not going to play each other. Then looks like it's an off day on the 25th for the few clubs, including the Braves, Atlanta Braves, and the the San Francisco Giants. And then on the 26th, the Braves host the Padres. And the Giants are in LA. And then one more series on the 30th. The Padres at the Giants again, with a day off there? No. And yeah, so they do not play each other again. Here's your American League standings. Both Baltimore and Minnesota have clinched. They have identical records, basically, Orioles and the Twins. The Orioles have played two more games. So actually the Twins lead them by a game in the loss column, but they've been neck and neck. Detroit, as they did in real world, is in second place. Red Sox were creeping up on them, but they have fallen 3.5 behind them. Senators, 1 game over 500. Yanks have been a disappointment this year. And underperformed. I think they were about 2 games over 500 in real world. They're 70 and 80, and Cleveland is just the pits. Oakland has been in second place basically all year. The Angels have skidded in September, August and September. They were doing much better. Now they're 11 games under 500. That's about where they are in real world. White Sox are the pits, and they are only 3 games ahead of Seattle. And it is a bit of a surprise that Seattle has creeped up on the Senators and taken a 5-game lead over them. They've won 4 in a row. By the way, the Tigers have won 10 in a row, as you could see. And check this out, the Padres have lost 11 in a row. Let's look at our leaders. And again, it's a reconciliation by me. I just do not have the wherewithal to do full stats. I would love to. I just don't have the concentration, the energy, or the gumption. But as a novelty, we do home runs and wins. In the National League, Stretch McCovey with 51. Marichal has won 24 indeed. I forgot how much he won. I'd have to look it up. He won about 21, 22. He's actually either lost or got no decision in his last 2 starts. But back to the home runs, Bonds has 39. That's a bit over. I don't know how many he had in real world. He's over. Henry Aaron is underperforming. He had 44 in real world. So he has 35, and the rest goes there. Tolan is overperforming with 30. The Giants, Gaylord, if he wins another game, they'll have 2 20-game winners. And the Braves, the same with the Braves, because Necro has 121. And if Reed wins another, they'll have 2 20-game winners. The Pirates have Doc Ellis with 20. In the American League, Hot Dog Jackson leads all of Major League Baseball with 52 home runs. Big Man Howard has 50. Karl really hit a lot of home runs in early September. And I think he hit 40 in real world. He's at 46. Killebrew, who hit 49, has 44. Horton is overperforming. Rico hit 40 in real world. Cuellar has 24 wins, and McNally has 21. Sure, Palmer has, I believe, 17. I'm not certain. He lost or got a no decision his last start. He didn't win 20 in real world. He was hurt a bunch of the season. And if Perry wins another game, the Minnesota Twins will have 2 20-game winners. So there it is again for you all. I'm going to just let you keep this on the screen for a moment. This is through, so people can really take a good look at it, through September 18. And I might just go and show you how I go about and set up my new date of games. There's the NL and there's the AL. The AL is out. Look at Detroit, 10 in a row. What I do is, this is through the 18th. We go to September 19th and we look at what's our first game. And we track these all along to make sure we're playing all the games. It's going to be the Yankees in Baltimore. So it's a new series now. It's going to be a 2-game series. A 2-game series. This is the game, the 19th. And, well, you know what? Now, while I'm doing this broadcast, I cannot set this up. It will be Kekich for the Yankees and Palmer. And again, Palmer, I think he has 17 wins. I can just look at it right here. Palmer has won 16. Okay. So that's not going to be easy for him. He's forget it. He can't get that. But that's going to be the ball game. You know, the I will mention that the Orioles have had some minor injuries and some folks have not played. But back in this game, Buford will be back. Buford, Blair, and Robinson are all back in the lineup. Boog Powell is out. I don't know why. And Chico Samon, of all people, will be playing first. Belanger's back in. Everybody is back in except for Boog. Let's see if Boog plays on the 20th. No, he does not. Okay. They have Chico again playing first. Does he play on the 21st, Boog Powell? Yes, he does. For the Yankees, Pepitone's been out, but we pinch hit with him because he pinch hit in this game. And Gene Michael pinch hit in this game and stayed in the game. Michael has been out for a while. Kenny's been playing at short instead of third, so I might just start Michael and put Kenny at third instead of Bomer. That's going to be that. I can't set up the game, but when I do, we have a section. This is not a playlist. This is a section which includes playlists. You can do that on, it's a nice feature. You can put these on your landing page, and this is the 1969 Strat-O-Matic replay, and within it is playlists for each date, you see. So this one is done, the 18th, and we'll just simply set up a new playlist for the next game. And I'm not sure when I'm going to play it. Right now it's noon. I suppose I could try a 2 p.m. game. Would anyone like to have that game? Again, it would be New York at Baltimore. I suppose I could. Really, I have very little else to do. So I think I will do it. So I want to thank everybody. Stay strong. Stay well, and I'll catch you. And thank you for your interest in my replay. Take care.